All right, what's going on, guys? I'm Bear DeGidio, and we are back with another episode of the JAXXON podcast. I'm here with the Skrap Hat, Jake Shields, Gilbert Melendez, and Donatello of the Ninja Turtles. And today, what's cracking?
Did you just call me Donatello of the Nigga Turtles?
I said in Rampage JAXXON of the JAXXON podcast, looking greener than ever, looking like a human tortoise. I swear to God, I understood that tortoises live to be about 100 years old, but with this leather coat you got on you at least $150, at least.
I think they live about 200 years old.
Oh, really? I appreciate that.
Could be wrong. I could be wrong about that.
Don't fucking help him.
Thank you, Jake.
Fuck Bear, man.
Why are you like that?
I just found out that TJ is your favorite.
TJ who?
Dillashaw.
No, you're my favorite.
No.
Fix your brand new Cuban 8mm. You look good. Oh, that's a 10mm. Oh, he got a thick neck. No wonder his girl all happy up there eating mac and cheese. I said thick neck. She almost spit out the brisket. Chill out. Chill out over there.
Yeah. She
Listen,
would be eating mac and cheese because that's what it be sounding like when I be smashing macaroni and cheese.
Stop right now, really? You got to talk about the slippery and the slurpiness of the mac and cheese?
Oh, yeah? You brought it up?
That's crazy. Listen, it's not every day you have two legends like this in the house. What an unbelievable moment. I've never seen a podcast with this much legendary talent in one episode. Rampage JAXXON, Jake Shield, Gilbert Melendez.
Man, what's this Skrap Pack shit?
No, you didn't. No,
yeah. Skrap Pack. What the fuck is going on here?
No.
Come on, Rampage.
No,
Explain to you.
Go.
I don't even know how it came to be. I just know for some reason everyone started calling me, Nate, Nick, and Gil. They started being Skrap Pack. I resisted it for a couple of years, and then finally I'm like, might as well embrace it. And then Gil's like, well, I want to make some money. Started making T-shirts. And
that's how you do.
Someone's got to make some money. Gil likes to make money.
It's deeper than that. I came up with the name actually, right? I thought about it. I grew up in Santa
Is that where it came from?
Yeah, man. Santa Ana was high school. We had the Wolf Pack. I like the pack mentality, man. I threw that name out there, and it did kind of catch on. I didn't ask these guys.
I didn't even know it came from you. I'm like, why is everyone calling me the Skrap Pack?
Yeah. But
why you guys keep calling me the Skrap Pack?
But the truth is, this is the guy who really started it all, right? For me, and that inspired me, right? He was my coach. He was the first guy in San Francisco that really brought MMA there, right? Like Fairtex did a deal with Cesar Gracie, and they brought Jake out over there to be the representative. And back then, like there was only like blue belts, and he was like the head coach as a blue belt because that was rare back then, right? That was rare back then. And he built up an army, man. He built up an army, man. And still we got the pack going.
Nick Diaz too.
I thought they called y'all.
That was that side, and then
yeah, I built the San Francisco side. Nick built the Stockton side.
I thought they called y'all this shit because y'all be jumping people. Because I remember y'all jumped my boy Mayhem.
We did jump Mayhem. That's true.
Why y'all jump Mayhem?
It was after I fought Dan Henderson. He hopped over the cage and he's like, "Where's my rematch?" But we've been feuding offline over. We have the same taste in women. You probably know. So we've been feuding over a couple women I stole from. She was mad about that. So
Wait, you stole Mayhem Miller's girl?
I mean, maybe a couple of them.
Oh, my, not even one. He said a couple
bro,
of them.
We have the same taste.
He smashed a couple of my girls.
No.
Shit.
Real talk.
How?
With his dick.
we all get the same taste.
Right? So what happens? Like Rampage is fighting in Pride. He's going to Japan. You're like, yo, I'll take care of you for the week.
But Rampage ain't trying to fight me. Mayhem's all jealous.
Yeah.
So he comes in, tries to like fight me. So we all stick together. So the funny thing is Mayhem was actually training with Dan Henderson at the time. So Henderson's whole crew was in the camp. So we thought a big old brawl was going to break out. So we just all started swinging and Mayhem just got mopped up. Henderson's guys were just like, we ain't that close to him.
Yeah, what did he think was going to happen, right? He hopped in, he just beat Dan Henderson. He got pretty aggressive.
You know what I say? In Mayhem's defense, he didn't whine about that at all. He took that beating like a man. He never said, "Oh, I got jumped. It wasn't fair." He didn't. He said nothing negative about that. So he took that beating like a man.
Yeah,
a lot of guys, a lot of guys would have cried about that.
Yeah.
Been like, "Oh, I got mobbed by 6 dudes," which we did. But we thought Henderson's dudes were going to fight back. So
Mayhem's a real one. I'll tell you guys something. Mayhem is a real one. We had a lot of wars in the gym. He don't complain and shit about nothing. He still thinks it's funny to this day.
Yeah, I would actually like to talk to him again because we had feuds for years, and it's like I don't know. He probably has I have no hard feelings towards him. I don't know how he feels about me.
How about when you do your podcast, let him be one of the first guests?
That'd be awesome.
Oh, we got to set that up.
Yeah, you want to set that up?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you want to set up on JAXXON?
No, yeah. Oh, we'll do that too. We could have him. We could have Mayhem. We could have you. We could have Vanderlei. We'll settle all the feuds in one day.
Oh, goddamn.
You're like, I don't know about that.
I don't know about
because
that.
I've been feuding with Mayhem for like 10, 15 years, so that'd be kind of nice to...
Maybe Uriah and TJ too.
It is possible a brawl could break out in here while it happens too.
That'd
You
be
might want some
lit.
security.
Get me in there. I want to fight.
Because you never
I'm
know.
on the Skrap Pack side though.
we might change our mind about being friends.
Listen, I want to jump into how you guys started training together and what was this like energy. A lot of people talk about the nostalgia of UFC and MMA, and they don't ever talk about it without bringing up your guys' name. It's like you guys are the original bad boy gangster crew of the UFC, you know?
Yeah, man.
It's kind of funny how we started. Do you want to start it off?
Nah, go ahead.
We were just like party buddies because we were wrestling together in San Francisco. And like, oh, this dude gets a lot of chicks. I get a lot of chicks. So we were just out partying together all the time and wrestling. And I'm like, hey, Gil, you got to come check this MMA stuff I do. And he's just like, yeah, sure, buddy. Sure, you're not in the UFC. So I finally convinced him one day. And then he just got, the first time you go in, you just get smashed by Nick Diaz and shit. So he's like, oh, that shit's legit. But I could only get him to come over there maybe 2-3 times a week with me. But then I got in a big fight with the girl I was living with at the time. So I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So I go, Gil, can I stay at your house for a couple of days? I went to his house and I just never left. And so after that, Gil had to go to the gym with me every single day. He couldn't no excuses. I'd just wake up and be like, we're going to the gym. And it would just turn into a war. And then I would go and battle with Nick Diaz. And then once I brought him in, Nick's like, well, I want to make my brother train. I don't think he really gave his brother a choice.
Nate wasn't training it?
Not yet. He started like right after, like I think literally the day after he came in. Nick goes, you're coming with me. And we were hardcore back then. So he would just put the gloves on and we put the gloves on him and they'd be like, you guys are fighting.
Wow.
Yeah, man, this guy was crazy. Yeah, I just followed his lead, right? Like I wrestled him at SF State. He was like transfer there and he said he did the MMA thing. And I was a fan, right? I was actually watching the on Sheerdog, they had the highlight reels, the Pride ones. You were on there too. The Sakuraba, Igor Valchanchin. I was like, oh, this is tight. And I was a wrestler and I always wanted to, everyone wanted to do it, Yeah. I wanted to do it. And then I met this guy and I challenged him. I was like, you don't do that stuff. He put me in a knot, tapped me out. And I was a disciple ever since, man. I just he moved in and we did go through that. But as soon as he moved in, he just he pulled me out. He's like, we got to do this. And we trained hard, we partied hard, and we reached our goals.
Man, that's real, right?
Yeah,
Well, you a black belt now?
I'm a black belt now. Yeah, I'm a 3-stripe black belt.
All right, under him?
Under him and Caesar Gracie. So Caesar Gracie,
Caesar Gracie, he's the real deal.
Yeah. Like I said, we were pretty hardcore. All we did is train and chase girls occasionally.
And what about the gym dynamic with the Diaz brothers and you guys? Like, was there one central head coach? Because I know you guys were in separate gyms at some point, right? Because you have Modesto, Stockton, and then you had, San Fran.
Great question. So I ran the San Francisco part, right? So I was teaching there. So I was the head guy there. Nick ran the Stockton Lodi part, and then Caesar ran in the middle. So we'd meet in the middle all the time. So we would train each of our gyms. But we were training for a while. We were training like 4 days a week out in the middle, and we'd go out there and battle. And we were super good friends, but we're also super competitiveness. I think that competitiveness drives you together. Even me and Gil, we're best friends, but we'll get in fights sometimes in the gym. I think I fight Gil more than anyone else. I don't know why. He always hits me too hard and blames me.
That's like one of the problems at gyms, right? Guys can't take that, but afterwards we're like hugging. And,
we're instantly friends after, but
have some food, smoke, whatever.
You leave it in the cage, leave it in the ring.
It would never be personal, but it's not that in common for me to gym. Me and Gil start fighting. What's going on? Everyone freaks out. It's like, no, we're already over it.
And at what point did the Diaz brothers and you guys all officially become like this team with one central head coach? Because at one point you guys all had the same striking coach, right?
Yeah, I guess we kind of joined Caesar's team, and it was a combination of Caesar, but a lot of it was me and Nick did a lot of the coaching too.
Oh, got it.
So we were. It was kind of a combination. We really helped coach each other a lot. If you notice, you look at our fights, we all cornered each other. Like Gil was always in my corner. I was in his corner. Nick, Nate, we always took turns cornering each other. And so instead of having to hire trainers, we just helped train each other for free.
Yeah,
so
it was pretty immediately. We're with Caesar, right? He was already at Caesar's training over there, and he'd bring me over there. We were just doing our thing in San Francisco, and he was under Caesar's banner out there, and we'd all meet up, and it'd get down. We'd get down.
Did Nick and Nate already have like a crew as well, or were they solo dogs?
Yeah, kind of. It was because me and Nick came in like early because it was like I think Nick had been training about a year. I've been training about a year and a half because I started with Chuck Liddell originally. So I was with Chuck for a year, but then Caesar's gym was tearing everyone up in the Bay Area, and I went to San Francisco because I had a wrestling scholarship up there. So I went there to wrestle. But at that point, it's hard to go back to wrestling once you're fighting. So I had a couple fights under Chuck, so I had no desire to wrestle. So we wrestled a couple months, and we both dropped off and just pursued fighting.
How was Chuck back in those days? Was he a party animal and stuff already?
Man, Chuck is no, he actually wasn't. Actually, now that you mention it, he turned into it after. He didn't really no drinking, or very little drinking. It wasn't that he was very
Chuck Liddell?
Yeah, he was like. He would drink a little bit, but not much. I remember he didn't party that much. I remember I ran into him one day and he was partying. I'm like, oh, Chuck's partying now.
Man, Chuck reminds me like Spud McKenzie of MMA, bro. he's so fun when you hang out with him, bro.
Sometimes I get scared when Chuck's in town though, because he won't let me leave. And just Chuck's like, come meet me. I'm like, oh shit, do I want to meet Chuck? Can you let me leave once I meet him?
Yeah, I remember those days that we'd go down to Slow.
Slow, yes,
Yeah, we
Slow.
go there. He let us sleep on the couch. Hang
No,
out when he was up
San
there.
Luis Obispo?
Yes, we go out there.
Chuck is such a great dude. First guy I knew that ever got famous. So it's good seeing someone get famous and not change at all. So that was awesome to see. And like I said, I'd bring him down before you were known at all. Chuck just treated us
It was great, right? Just being young, being around greatness, and allowing us to just stay on the couch, wake up, go to the training session, be around it. It inspires you, right, man?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, when you have the top fighters letting you sleep on your couch, it's like, oh, this dude's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
I feel like that moment in UFC era is like, you know, 2 or 3 of you guys are top in the division and you guys are fighting the top talent. You guys are all training with each other and your entire team was elite. And we don't see a lot of that anymore. We see these massive gyms with like 300 students and they're hoping to get 3 or 4 top athletes out of that. What do you think is the biggest difference between your era and what we're seeing in today's time?
Yeah, we're one of the only teams that like all came up together. These super gyms, guys all moved there, but we helped coach each other, and extreme loyalty you don't see. And we had some other savages at our gym too, like Gil Castillo, this guy David Terrell. They also both fought for the UFC. We just had a huge ton of loyalty at our gym, which you don't see very much anymore.
Yeah.
And we were very fortunate. It's hard to find that. We were very fortunate to have that. And then, you know, early on, we were fighting in Japan, as you were, and man, how amazing was that, Rampage?
Oh my God.
You were a really big star there. I was like a little bit of a star over there, but you were like a superstar in Japan.
Bro, it was like a dream, right?
Yeah,
it was like a dream going over to Japan. I used to love it. I can go over there. I could be a huge star, have like a lot of fans.
Waiting for you at the hotel.
Then come back home and live a normal life. Nobody knew who I was, and I loved it. I loved it that way.
Yeah, it was just so unreal. I remember the first time I'd never been on a plane, and then I was flying out to Tokyo with Nick Diaz. Just like I was a poor kid from like the trailers, and I'm on a plane going, "Whoa, I'm going to Japan." Get there, just shocked. But then you go in there in a big arena. I was fighting Hayato Sakurai. He was number 2 ranked fighter in the world. Went out there, pulled a huge upset, and I was just like, "Whoa, this is crazy."
Well, you submitted him?
Ended up being a decision, but the guy's not known anymore, unfortunately. But at the time, he was a huge superstar, especially in Japan.
Yeah.
So it was fighting in Japan was unreal.
How did you celebrate after that? Did you go out to
Went Roppongi and partied hard. I'm not gonna say if I did or didn't bring any.
You can't talk about it.
I didn't do anything.
I was very excited when Gil said he would jump in on the podcast because I know we have a lot of time with Jake. One thing before Gil, I don't know what time you got to head out, but one thing I wanted to touch upon with you is underneath this like huge crew of fighters that everybody considers like the tough guys in the sport, what do you think was the biggest reason why you guys had such longevity? We see a lot of guys go in and out of like fame and in and out of wins, but it seems like you were able to just be dominant for years.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, we just created a stable, right? We all had we're all loyal to each other. We're all disciplined. We had the same dreams, and we just stayed on track, stayed on path. We stayed humble along the way, even to this day. I mean, all these guys are great, man.
That's rare, though.
We all had
It
like
is.
20-year careers, which is rare.
Yeah,
Like, you're right. A lot of these guys are
insane.
hot for a second and gone. I was thinking that one day. Like Nate's still fighting.
And the longevity of your guys' body. Like, I feel like you guys were able to stay healthy. You guys understood the signs of cardio. We see like the Diaz brothers doing these triathlons, and you guys are always cutting weight. Even I saw you like 2-3 years ago over here, and you were in great shape still. Like you're still fighting and whatnot. Or
Are you a vegetarian like these guys?
Oh, no way, bro. No, it was best being a roommate with him. We never had problems. I
Yeah,
had all
we
my,
ate each other's
I had all
food.
my protein. Yeah, those grass over there. I was just,
You didn't try to talk him to being a
Oh,
vegetarian.
I tried, but there was zero luck. But I got Nick and Nate.
Well, how you become a vegetarian though? Why you?
I grew up that way, so it's easy.
Your parents was one.
Vegetarian like pussy.
Yeah, that went over his head.
yeah. Hey, listen, before we let you leave, one thing I want to ask you is sparring. We heard some crazy stories with you and Nate and Nick. We heard one where you guys locked the door. You guys all stayed in this gym and basically just settled it so someone gives up. Is this what really happened? Can you walk us through this notorious story?
what is he talking about? I mean, this feels like this happens all the time. This just felt like a normal day of training.
Yeah, we heard there was this Stockton brawl
I can't think of a
amongst your
particular
team.
one when we got in a brawl, but we had a lot of like.
Or is this how it was always settled?
This was it. Yeah. Sometimes there'd be just no time limit.
Sometimes there'd be brawls break out there, but I can't think of a specific one. But there's sometimes guys had to fight. Yeah, we'd lock them in the cage. But I never fought.
Jake was the guy who would beat people up for real. Like it always go out of control. One time he had
He
this
seemed like
boxer.
a nice one though.
That's
man,
funny.
he
Everyone thinks I'm the nice
This
guy,
guy's a
like,
man of
against
principle.
two,
He doesn't let
against
no
two.
one. He doesn't let no one slide. There was actually a professional boxer that was in there. Like he was at
beat
Caesar
a lot of people
Gracie's.
up at the
Yeah,
gym.
and Jake was there to spar him, and he kept hugging the guy, and the guy didn't like it. You know, he was pummeling with them, but Jake was dirty boxing him, landing it, pummeling. This is what we do, right? And the guy's frustrated, started trying to get rough, and then he went for the takedown with Jake, right? Tough guy, right? Really walking really proud around the gym. Then Jake takes him down, mounts him, starts punching him, and of course the guy said no.
With boxing gloves on?
Yeah, boxing gloves and everything.
Wow.
I think I slipped my boxing gloves off. So
Yeah. It kind of gave him the I could have killed you type of look, you know. But that happened plenty of times.
Yeah,
Jake
for
did that
some reason
plenty
I
of
was
times.
always the guy that had to fight, but someone's got to hold a gym together. It ain't a joke, man. You can get killed out there, you can kill someone. It ain't a joke. Someone's got to be an asshole in the gym. I'm a nice guy out of the gym, but when we're there at a fight gym, it's got to be serious. The way I look at it.
I love it. Listen, Gil, I
And
appreciate you
Gil's just so
jumping on.
damn nice all the time.
Yeah, he humbles people. He'll
But
like
he'll
debate.
encourage me. He'll be like, Jake, get that guy. And Nate will do the same thing. Get that guy.
We definitely going to have you on for your own episode, but I appreciate you hopping in. I'm sure the fans are excited to see you guys together on
Yeah,
one episode.
come back and
I would
sit
love
down.
that.
Yeah.
I would love that, man. I'd love
Thank
that.
you, brother.
Right on, guys.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
The Skrap Pack lives forever.
Let's go.
dude.
Yeah, Team Diaz, man.
Where can they go to get that shirt though?
Yeah, we got scrapackhq.com.
Wait, I can't let you leave. I got one last thing. 30 seconds. We saw the fight. You were there. Masvidal jumps out of the stadium, out of the arena over here in Anaheim. Were you there? Right over here at the weigh-in, the press conference?
Today.
Was that today?
No. What are you talking
Masvidal,
about?
like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, right? Didn't he jump in the audience and the Nick Diaz's crew just destroyed him?
No, listen,
I
listen,
think that was the last
his
press
coach.
Oh, that was
conference.
his
Yeah,
coach.
that was like a few
Look,
weeks
look,
I wasn't
look,
at that one.
They don't want to talk about it. Look at it.
Wait,
I was like, I gotta make sure like these
Yeah,
stories.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
hey, man,
I need to know. Did something really happen? Was that you guys? Were you there?
Some little kid got chased out of a press conference.
Yeah.
Oh, that was yesterday.
I think there
Neon,
was
right?
the
another
neon
one.
thing. Yeah, there was something.
Unless
with
there's
the
something I
coaches.
didn't know about the weigh-ins because
Yeah.
I didn't go to the weigh-ins.
I think there was something like a few weeks ago when they did their last press over here. In,
But you were the
Orange
one who
County.
threw the monster can at Conor McGregor, right? When
That was this
that was
guy.
you.
I was working for ESPN at the time. I was
Everyone
like,
thinks I'm the good guy,
easy
so
going.
part.
We'll jump into that, but I just have to get these stories straight because my JAXXON podcast Discord's been blowing up since I said you were coming on.
Yeah, I'll make sure we get more stories. I have a bunch of them.
I love
especially
it.
this guy. I have a lot of
I
street
love
fighting
it.
stories, man. This
All
guy's
right,
a man
yeah.
of principle.
They keep me around because I look like a nice guy to talk to the cops.
Thank
but
you, Gil.
I'm usually causing the trouble. It's like, send the white guy out.
Guys, make sure you keep the JAXXON podcast Discord cooking. As you guys can see, Gilbert stopping by, Skrap Pack legend, UFC MMA legend right there. We appreciate you. Thank you. That was
Are you
amazing.
sticking around, right, Gil?
No.
There's a behind the scenes where Jake gets a Monster Energy drink can and he tosses it at Conor McGregor's head at the press conference.
Did it hit him? Or he
I think it missed. Luckily, because I didn't want to like cut him.
Yeah.
One of the press conferences, he was talking shit to me, and I jumped up on the stage, and I actually could have hit him. But then I'm thinking, wait, if I hit him, I might pull Nate's fight. What if
Yeah.
what if I actually hurt him?
Yeah, you could have because that
So I
that
stopped
fight.
myself. That was too big of a money
Too-
fight.
yeah, too big
That
of
was
a
the first one. I'm like, what if I just cost Nate his fight? That's what really blew him up to mainstream. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
definitely glad I controlled my wanting to punch him.
So why'd you throw a Monster can at him?
Sometimes I'm an idiot, don't think. I don't always claim to be the brightest. I'm a fighter.
Like, I just want to understand what goes through your head. Like, this guy was pissing you off, or what
He was
did you
throwing
do?
bottles at us.
Oh, he did
He
start.
started chucking things first. We started chucking stuff back.
And then you just picked up a Monster can, a heavy Monster can.
He threw some heavy stuff at us too. My dumb ass, I was looking for something to throw and I ran out of stuff and I almost told one of the journalists' computer. I don't like most of those guys anyways. I went to grab it. He's like, no. And then I felt bad. So I let it go. I'm like, I can't believe I just almost stole a journalist. Most of those guys are the biggest weasels anyways.
Dude, this guy is such a legend. I was throwing a massive JAXXON party in Vegas at XS. Him and Nate Diaz walk in. They're wearing like sandals, board shorts. They were like the mayor of Lodi or someone was with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a cool
and
dude.
they all walked in. I'm like, oh, you guys are going, like the pool's closed. The day party was 4 hours ago. It's XS. It's like 1 a.m. He's like, no, we're here for the party. I'm like, all right, let's do it. XS gives me a table. They're standing on the table. Not a single dude would come talk to them. They had everybody's girls.
Yeah.
And everybody was scared to say anything to them. I'm like, damn.
What are they
these
gonna
guys
say?
These guys are
That's
still
my
running it.
girl now.
Yeah, that's why I had her come sit down where I can see her.
Oh, good move.
Can
Yeah.
you believe these dumbass dudes will introduce your girls? Like, dude, that ain't your girl no more.
My God, dude. Wait, so I saw you were with one of my good friends, J Rock and Dan Bilzerian. You guys were doing a
Those
big
dudes are both
podcast or
awesome,
something.
yeah.
Were you guys training with Gordon Ryan?
No, Gordon Ryan came by the house. I've been over a lot. We've been like in a paintball league with like
I
J
saw.
Rock and Dan's. We've been doing that, and then I don't know. One day I don't really smoke weed. One day they got me like J Rock got me lit on those. What is it? Not the weed. It's those
Mushrooms?
dabs.
Oh, the dabs.
I couldn't talk for like 4 hours. I'm like, how the fuck can you guys
Is that
do
wax?
this?
Is that
Yeah.
like wax?
It's
Yeah,
like some
burn
wax.
it.
It was
Yeah.
so strong.
So you go to Dan Bilzerian's house. I know you guys are playing paintball. He's actually really good at playing paintball.
He's like super
He used to
good.
come to SC Village, started playing with me a few years back,
Yeah.
and then he just took it
The
on.
first game I went and played with him, I just got fucked up. It was embarrassing. I thought I was going over to like some casual paintball, and it was like all these like military dudes just fucking you up.
At his house?
Yeah.
He's got paintball.
He
things
paid
like
my
that.
house. At his house.
He built an arena.
Yeah, if you're
in
ever
his
in town,
backyard.
I'm sure you could come by. So he's
Yeah.
hella cool, dude.
Yeah, I've heard he's super.
He's
cool.
way cool.
Yeah.
People always think, oh, he's douchebags trying to tell me shit. I'm like, fuck you, bro. He's the coolest dude
He's the
ever.
nicest dude in the
Nicest
world.
dude ever. Yeah, he just gets hated because probably
Yeah,
because he gets so
people
many
hate him.
girls.
Yeah.
Well, he's like them. He steals everybody's girls. Actually, he doesn't even need to steal them. They just flock
Yeah.
to him. It's crazy. But I mean, these guys are a little bit more aggressive. I watch the way they work. I'm like, yo, this is my girl. And, all right, my girl now. I'm like, all right, and that's the last time I introduce a girl to you guys. So explain this to me. Gordon Ryan, does he train with you guys at all ever? Or have you trained with him?
I've trained with him a lot. Yeah,
How good is he?
Insanely good. I think as far as pure jiu-jitsu, probably the best guy who's ever done it. He's like absolutely amazing. He's
that good?
Yeah.
You think Gordon Ryan, okay, this is a big statement coming from Jake Shields.
No, it is a big statement, but I think he's the best guy to ever do it.
Better than Nicky Robb.
Yeah, he beat him a couple times.
Oh yeah, he did beat him a couple times.
Better than Buchecha.
He beat him too.
He beat Buchecha.
Beat him too.
He beat Buchecha by points, I think.
Yeah, he beat all these. His winning streak is insane. I forget what it is, and he's had a lot of stomach issues through it. He hasn't lost in like, I don't know, at least 6-7 years.
Oh, but he's not undefeated.
He's not undefeated, it's true, but he hasn't lost in a long time, and he almost always gets submit. He doesn't just win; he almost always gets submissions. I've trained with him a lot. He's good. He's the one guy that like everyone else, I at least feel like I can go back and forth with him, but he's just I hardly ever get. If I get a pass, I'll be like, oh, thank God I got something. Then he'll like,
he's bigger than you though.
He's bigger than me too, yeah. But he's still just a phenom. Like,
what makes him so good?
Combination of he's just so technically sound, smart. He doesn't get tired. He's not fast and explosive, so it's weird. He's like slow and methodical, so he slowly picks you apart. So he doesn't get like any explosive submissions. He'll just slowly wear you down.
Is he really strong?
He's strong, but he doesn't use it that much. So it's not like as overpowering as you think. So I don't feel like I'm that overpowered by him. He's kind of slowly wears you down.
You think if you ate meat, you can beat him?
Try it. You want to try it?
Have you ever eaten meat before?
I have a few times, but my body rejects it because I haven't.
Because you're not used to it.
So I get sick.
You get sick.
But I did read if you ate it like 3 or 4 days, I would adjust to it. It's just like hard when I eat it and I feel like sick to want to eat it again.
Yeah, you just don't want it. Yeah, Bear loves meat. He likes sausage.
It's his favorite.
I love grilling sausages.
Interesting. A little too much information here.
You don't like sausage?
No.
Nothing?
Ground sausage.
Wait, was that a sexual joke about the sausage?
No. I don't do sexual jokes.
Let's hope not. Why is your girl laughing? I hope not. You see how that I can't even respond to it.
Can't talk about sausage.
Can't even talk about a normal appetizer that I like to eat.
He
loves eating sausage. He loves sausage. Look at that. I've never seen someone happy over sausage.
He loves the sausage. What's your favorite kind? Is it Portuguese, like Brazilian sausage?
Yeah, I like grilling Italian sausage, some pepper,
Italian
and
sausage.
then I chop up a ciabatta. I throw in some nice roasted peppers.
You know how to cook?
Some jalapenos.
You know how to cook?
Amazing. I'm an amazing cook. I'm not like you with the macaroni and cheese from the store. And then I asked him, yo, what's for dinner? He said DiGiorno, not delivery.
But black people make like better macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we know.
I think they do. They make bomb macaroni and cheese.
You know how to make macaroni and cheese?
No, honestly, I don't know how to cook.
Does he cook? No.
I don't know how to cook.
Interesting.
I don't know how to cook.
Nothing. What do you eat because you don't eat meat? What do you eat for protein?
I eat a lot of eggs. I'm not vegan. That makes it harder. Beans are great for protein, stuff like that.
Eggs is really good source of protein.
Yeah, so if I didn't eat eggs, it would be harder. I went vegan for 6 months, and the first part I had a chef, training for a fight, so I actually felt great because he was making all the perfect macronutrients. But then after that, it's obviously expensive and pain in the ass to have a chef. Yeah. So I was doing it myself, and I started feeling weaker. So I went back to eating eggs and cheese and beans.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one thing in terms of like your legacy in MMA is like you have a phenomenal ground game. I mean, everybody knows that. And you love talking about American Jiu-Jitsu. I don't really know the politics, why you don't say Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I know you probably have a reason for that. So before I go into the next part of this question, I want to understand why you're so passionate about the term American Jiu-Jitsu over BJJ.
Yeah, it originally started out as kind of a joke because of that time period. I wasn't really training with a gi. In the time period, Brazilians ran everything, and they were hating a lot, being like, oh, you can't. So I had a purple belt, like, you can't be a purple belt. So I went and put a gi on for a week and went and just dominated the world to show them that I could. But they kept pissing me off, so I started calling it American Jiu-Jitsu. I'm like, all right, bitch, it's American Jiu-Jitsu then. But in reality is, Americans, we did take jiu-jitsu, especially guys like me. I was one of the founders of it, took it and blended jiu-jitsu in. We blended jiu-jitsu and wrestling together. We took the gi off, so it's more of an aggressive style. Jiu-jitsu is about laying back, especially traditionally about laying back and waiting for the guys to make a mistake. Wrestling is about forcing things. So I think I'm one of the original guys that took it and kind of blended the two. So even though I started American Jiu-Jitsu as a joke, I think it's kind of I really am one of the founders of the new style.
Yeah.
And like the new Jiu-Jitsu guys, they mix my style. They have way better takedowns. They're more of that aggressive attack. So it's a different style of Jiu-Jitsu than because it used to be sit back and wait. And you can't do that in an MMA fight, sit back and wait for a guy to make a mistake.
That makes sense because wrestling, if you're really good at wrestling and you get really good at Jiu-Jitsu, I feel like you're almost unstoppable on the ground.
Mm-hmm. It's when they're blend, and it's the perfect blend. Is the way I look at it, of blending the two, and obviously taking pieces of judo and sambo, but really wrestling and jiu-jitsu blend is the main piece.
You did sambo and judo?
Just tiny bits, just what works, like the leg locks. take anything that works, but really wrestling jiu-jitsu blended together is the perfect art without the gi.
So a lot of people talk about ADCC. We see like one of the youngest winners ever, one of the Rotolo brothers. We've seen legends like Gaval. You were a bronze medalist, I think, in 2006, 2005. Around there,
2005, I think?
2005.
Yeah.
So you've obviously seen the highest level of ground game, and then obviously you kind of adapted that towards your MMA career. Who do you feel right now is like one of the most dominant fighters on the ground
For UFC? Oh, good question. I don't watch near as much as I should. I'm trying to think real quick of who some of the top grapplers are. Bilal Muhammad's pretty good. Not pretty good. He's really good. Gilbert Burns.
Yeah.
I know there's more guys.
Insane jiu-jitsu. Gilbert Burns has
some of these
insane
guys.
jiu-jitsu.
Gilbert Burns is really good.
That dude's so powerful. Every single angle he hits. He has like this crazy no gi style jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I would consider that kind of a
similar to mine.
Yeah,
I had
like
a grappling match with him. I beat him in a really close match, like an overtime thing. Like it was a very competitive match with him.
Where was this at?
It was in Chell Sonnen show up in Oregon. I forget what Submission Underground, I think it was called.
A couple years ago?
Yeah, a couple years ago. Did you do any of those shows?
No, he asked me, but I'm not a grappler like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not finna go get
He
embarrassed.
was paying pretty good.
Yeah, he was,
guys,
yeah.
So
But I
he
was fat as fuck too. I
yeah,
ain't finna do all that shit.
You should now that we got the mats in here. I've been seeing you train MMA.
Yeah, I need to get me a good jiu-jitsu coach.
We have some good jiu-jitsu coaches coming here.
Who you got coming?
It's going to be insane.
Can you say?
Not yet, but it's
okay.
going to be
Yeah,
insane.
you just need to work on passing and if you get to the bottom, just getting up.
Yeah, I need to work
Refuse to stay on bottom.
Have you watched the Rotolo brothers at all?
Oh, they're really good. They're
What do you think
phenomenal.
makes them so good?
They're just like they mix everything so well. They're so athletic. It's like it's kind of the American jiu-jitsu style.
Yeah,
they got
insane.
great takedowns. It's not the old school style of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You know, they're just attack, relentless. They're good everywhere. Almost impossible to choke. Great darces. They're phenomenal.
They're fighting now too, huh?
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Did you see
Yeah,
it?
Ty's fighting, Cade's fighting. I mean, one's going to go full MMA, and then one's obviously has got a one fight tonight, I believe, or tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy though because their pace is on another level.
their
Do you
pace
feel
is
like
crazy.
today's jiu-jitsu game is becoming a lot more athletic based? Like these athletes are really turning the sport upside down.
Oh yeah, it's way more athletic, and there's no drug testing either in in jiu-jitsu. So you get some big athletic guys that just like keep going.
How you feel about that? 'Cause I know you very voiceless about stuff that you don't like, especially on Twitter.
I'm very mixed because like I'm torn because part of it's like, you know, we were never doing any drugs, we were doing it. I know a lot of the guys we were competing against were, so it sucks. But it's almost like if there was no rules, like maybe I'd say fuck it and just get juiced out myself and just let everyone do it. So I don't know. I go back and forth.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about it because I don't agree with like fighters doing like performance enhancers, but in jiu-jitsu, you're not
It
punching.
is grappling.
It's just grappling.
Yeah,
it's not
so
punching.
you either got to have really good, really strict testing or none at all, because otherwise it totally makes it unfair.
Yeah.
So if everyone's on it, or they got to find a way to make sure no one's on it, because if a few people are on it, then it becomes a big problem.
Yeah, because some people just are totally against it. Like me, I've always been against doing performance enhancers, even though I was fighting people that was on that shit in Japan.
Yeah, you know, I'm surprised in Japan that you weren't. But yeah, for me, I was just like, our team never did it. It was one of those things to stay away from. But I can see why guys do. Don't get me wrong. It's like I look at these guys and they're all jacked, not getting tired. You're like, especially at my age, I'm like 45. And like people saying, "Do you want to fight again?" I'm like,
Yeah, I feel like reason why I never did. I've always been against drugs, but I felt like it would shorten your career. That's why I always felt like
Steroids?
Yeah,
I mean, it makes your bones brittle. That's a fact. It also ruins your gut health, which is why a lot of people always claim and attack Gordon Ryan, saying he's on so much steroids because he has
I
horrible
think
gut
his
health.
was from antibiotics though, because he did antibiotics like 30 times in a row. He kept thinking,
Yeah, I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying
staph.
that's why people attack him.
No, I know that's why I
Yeah.
attack him. Why? But I'm pretty sure his was from like way over antibiotics use.
and what antibiotics?
Because antibiotics, it
Antibiotics.
kills all the bacteria in
He
your
thinks you're
gut.
saying anabolics.
Oh yeah, no, antibiotics.
Antibiotics.
So yeah, so he kept getting staph infection, or he thought he did. He might have been taking, we didn't need it, and he completely wiped out all of his bacteria in his gut. So he got that. He got it rebuilt, but then he had to go on 6 months ago. He had to go on antibiotics again, and it re-wiped it out.
You know what? I watch a lot of TikTok. I be just watching random stuff, and I heard. Look, this sounds gross, but they do surgery where they take feces out of another person and put it in. And
I've heard a little about this. I have not in any details, but heard that's some kind of new medicine they're doing. Sounds gross, but
It's
hey,
gross,
it's some
yeah.
like kind of new medicine that's like supposedly like really advanced.
yeah. So and if you want to save money, you can just eat the feces. And
Would you do that?
Fuck no.
Yes, you would.
No, why
Have
would
you
I do-
ever eaten the feces?
Why would I eat some shit? Why are you gonna ask me some shit like that? Why would I eat fucking shit?
I do have a group chat that you were telling the boys that you ate a little something too much, and there was a little something that kind of crumbled out.
No, you don't have no shit. Full of shit.
Did you say that in a group chat?
Never. I don't say no shit like
No
that.
throwing them on blast from a group chat. Those are private.
Yeah. I know. He saw it too.
Now,
My bad.
now I know not to go on your group chats. Now I know not to go on your group chats or enjoy it like that. Group chats are private.
No. You making shit up now.
So you never did that?
I never ate shit. Why would I eat shit? Do I look like a shit eater? Do I look like a fucking shit eater?
I wouldn't put it past you with that jersey on, brother.
Man, this is an off-white jersey.
Is it really?
Man, this jersey too
Looks incredible on you.
$2,500.
Looks incredible.
Man, look at this shit. Look at this off-white.
Oh my God, look at the jorts. Look at the jorts. Hey, you cut the jeans in half because it's summer? Look at the jorts. Hey, scoot back here. Scoot back. Looks like he collects money for some dude in Venice Beach. Look at this. He got the Joker shorts on. He got the green. Let me see, 360. Oh my God. Oh my God, yo, you are fresh.
Look, I got the phone case of match.
Hey, tell me he don't look like Busta Rhymes. Tell me he don't look like Busta Rhymes.
Oh, hell no, you done fucked up.
Why?
Man, fuck Busta Rhymes.
You don't like Busta Rhymes?
I don't like Busta Rhymes.
Why not?
Because Busta Rhymes got a homeboy named Rampage that rapped, and they thought I stole the fucking name. So Busta Rhymes.
Fuck that
I was
guy.
making a joke. You really don't like
slap the
Busta
shit out of
I
that
don't
guy.
like Busta Rhymes. And Rampage thought I stole his name. I don't like
Fuck that Rampage.
Yeah, no. I said my name been Rampage since I was 8 years
You
old.
should fight for the name.
I'm
Exactly,
down.
right?
I'm down. I'm down.
That's the fake Rampage.
That's a fake Rampage.
Hey, we just call him Rampy.
Yeah, damn.
What?
And sometimes people be thinking they be hitting them up on IG and they be sending me DMs. Because his name is
Asking for beats.
his name is the real Rampage, and my name is Rampage for real on there, right?
Oh, he tried taking the real Rampage.
Yeah,
Motherfucker. He better hope we don't ever see you.
Yeah, he was trying. They were trying to come at me for a minute. Him and Busta Rhymes.
Did you want to fight him?
I fuck Rampage ass up.
You would beat him up?
I beat him up. Him and Busta
Have you
Rhymes.
seen how
Same
big
time.
both up at once.
Busta Rhymes big as
Hey,
fuck.
Busta Rhymes is big.
Oh, bro,
Rampage.
don't. You'll fucking kill him.
Thank you, bro.
Damn.
You seen the slams this
Didn't
guy
even-
does?
didn't even
This guy's
flinch.
pick motherfuckers up and slams them on their heads.
That's how you know he a real one.
He a real one.
American warrior.
Yeah, see, you
don't,
learn.
don't be
You
scared.
learn.
I've
You
seen
can
you
take
fight.
notes
Don't
from
be
him.
scared of Busta
You can take
Rhymes.
you can take
Yeah,
notes
you'll
from
kill.
Jake.
Scared.
You can take notes from him.
I do.
Yeah,
I've been
this
studying
motherfucker's
his game
real.
for years. He's as real as it
Do
gets.
you follow him on Twitter though?
Of course. He got the funniest Twitter. I was telling him that's where he's got to launch his Spotify.
Yeah.
Because he's
They don't get
very
banned.
vocal. He understands politics. But even before the podcast, I mean, it's good when a fighter can understand the full body in terms of them as an athlete and then as a vocal person to the community. Like he could speak athletes, or he could speak MMA, he could speak politics. It's cool.
Yeah, I can do lots of different subjects. That's why I'm like, all right, I should get a podcast. Like get fighters on, political people. I just have such a big network of like famous people, and that's the hard part for a lot of people starting a podcast. They can't get people on.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people would be afraid to talk about some of the stuff because you believe,
Yeah.
you stand by what you believe.
Yeah,
in.
but I think you don't have to. You don't have to talk about certain things you don't want. People bring on like, hey, what do you want to talk about? I ain't gonna force people to talk about things they don't want to talk about.
Right. But
Maybe I will. Depends on my mood.
yeah, but it seems like our society makes it hard for us to talk about certain things. Like we can't talk about Transformers and all that shit. Like you just can't.
Yeah, but to me, I'll talk about whatever I want and I'll give my real opinions. And I can be friends with people with completely different opinions. Some people can't. That's what's weird. You can't be friends with liberals or this. It's like I can be friends with people with completely different opinions as long as they treat me good.
Right.
Yeah, that's
the
how it
same
should
way.
be.
Yeah.
I like it. You're actually you're very big on that. There's a lot of things and conspiracies and things about the government or things about politics, and you would think he had no clue. He knows. He's watched every TikTok video. There's the watch about
Interesting.
it, but he don't ever want to speak up. It's kind of weird sometimes. Actually,
But it's fine if people want to keep stuff private. I think sometimes it's not always bad. You shouldn't be pressured to force opinions you don't want. In my opinion,
No, I think I keep a lot of stuff to myself because I just feel like some people say shit on the internet that they wouldn't normally say in person. So whenever I say something, then a guy or whoever would say something to me, and I get triggered because like you just saying that from the safety of your own home, like why, they just say somebody just say some fucked up, and I shouldn't be in that state of mind.
I've learned to ignore the online hate. I get so much online hate. Never once in the real life has someone came up and talked crap to me.
what do they hate on you about?
All kinds of shit on Twitter,
How could
but
they
they
hate
won't in
on
the real life.
How could anybody hate on
I
you?
had one fighter was talking shit. You know the guy Mike Jackson? You know who that is?
Mike
He's
Jackson.
not really a real fighter. But he was in the UFC at 170s, and he was talking shit to me on Twitter. So I said, hey, we'll fight on site. And he goes, yeah, bitch, I'll fight you on site. I walk in the UFC gym. He's sitting there hitting the bags. I go, oh, it's on, motherfucker. He starts literally running around the gym. He's running circles on the gym. Eventually, I don't know if you know Dewey Cooper.
Yeah, I know
He
Dewey
grabbed
Cooper,
me.
yeah.
He's like, oh, no, stop. And then he goes, lets me go. I grab him, threw him on the ground, start slapping him in the face, beating the shit out of him. He runs downstairs, go, call the cops, DeForest. Called the cops on me.
And he's a fighter.
He's not. He was in the UFC, but they brought him in to fight CM Punk because they wanted CM Punk to
win.
Yeah, but he still beat CM Punk somehow. But he was terrible. I feel like a little Asian girl when I picked him up. Just threw him on the ground, chucked him around.
Wow. And they called the cops?
He called the cops. She
Forrest
went hella
Griffin?
viral. She looked up and fall.
Forrest Griffin called the cops?
I think he asked Forrest Griffin
And
too.
Forrest called the fucking cops.
Forrest called the
he
cops.
a bitch too.
Forrest called the cops.
Wow.
Yeah, I have to see him there, so I'm not going to say it. But he called the cops.
You
for him.
think it was Forrest?
I think he told Forrest call the cops, and then Forrest called
Hey,
the cops.
tell Forrest fuck you for doing some shit like that.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
On a MMA icon
And he
like
pressed
yourself?
charges.
And he pressed charges.
But the DA kind of thought it was funny. They basically threw the case out. They had to do a little like slap on the wrist thing. But they're laughing like, this guy like called you out. He's a fighter. We fight at the same weight. And then he's running circles around the gym being help. There's a small piece of it online where he's on the ground going, somebody help me, as I'm slapping him in the face.
I say it right now, Forrest Griffin, if you call the cops on Jake Shields for some bullshit like that, you a bitch. Instead of being in that slap fighting referee and shit, catching motherfuckers when they fall, you need to come here to Jackson so I can smack the shit out you my fucking self.
Get Rampage versus Forrest.
I'm down.
Wow.
That's a good fight.
Yeah, that's a
Oh,
good
he
fight.
don't want nothing with you right
Yeah,
now.
he don't want the
He's in
smoke.
the best shape of his life.
Yeah, you
Forrest,
agree.
I don't think wants anything. to do
I
with it.
like to fight Forrest. I want to come back
Boxing
and fight.
fight?
Yeah, I want to come back and fight everybody that I lost to. I
Hey,
want
you versus Forrest in a boxing fight would go viral.
I'm down.
Payback for that
Hey.
calling the police.
Wait,
Yeah,
is this it? Is this it?
Oh, yeah, that's the guy. You got to turn the volume on because he's going, help, somebody get him off me.
Look at Dewey Cooper just watching. What a legend.
And then he made a video after calling Dewey Cooper a race traitor for not helping him out because he's like part black and Dewey's black, but Dewey's my friend. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh, that dude on the ground, he black?
So you put him in a side
No,
note.
he's a quarter black, but he has a big black pride tattoo. He grew up in an all-white neighborhood. He got like into this weird like,
I like Yancy Medeiros keeping people.
He trying to call you a racist fighter?
when I call him motherfucker, because he is a racist. He called me-
He's racist.
Yeah, because
Okay.
he calls everyone like, what's he call? He calls them like white
Lower the volume,
cockroaches.
Vinny.
And he says he needs to exterminate the white people, but he's like 3/4 white. It makes no sense.
Wait, let me see this. Play this again from the top.
Like the
Vinny.
shitty
Turn
tweet
off
is so
volume.
over the top. If anyone else tweeted it, but somebody gets away with it.
All right, here we go. So basically, Jake Shields talking about the moment that this dude, Mike Jackson, is chasing him around the Is this the UFC PI?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was literally running all around the gym, hiding behind the bags.
And Dewey Cooper stepped in. But why is it that he's calling you out and then he doesn't want to fight you when he sees you?
Exactly. He goes, when I seen him, he goes, oh, well, we should fight in Houston instead. I go, no, we're fighting right here, bitch.
So you just kept him accountable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I think they did right, letting you guys fight. Because you
Yeah.
guys, you both fighters. I think they did right. Then breaking up
Yeah.
when it's time to break
They
it
should have
up.
let me smack him a little more, but
You
I
wasn't- you
might
wasn't-
got a
you
little
wasn't-
trouble. I was just open-handed him. I wanted more. I wanted more to
Look
humiliate
at
him.
Jake Shields' comment. He effed around and found out. I love that, Jake.
See, I don't deal with racism like that. No matter what race you are, I think like Black Americans, we know what it's like to experience racism. So they, two wrongs don't make it right.
Yeah, I think this guy grew up like in an all-white neighborhood, and he like grew up like super white, and then maybe somehow, I don't know, in college or something, he all of a sudden decided he was black, got a big black power tattoo,
Trying to
literally says on Wikipedia he's 3/4 white, and now he just runs around being like fuck white people. It's like really weird.
That's weird.
He played lacrosse. That's way too white for me. Did you play lacrosse? Did you play lacrosse?
I don't even know how to play lacrosse.
Yeah, that is the whitest sport I've ever heard
Wait,
of.
but I want to know something. When the DA approached you, because they said he pressed charges, what did the DA tell you?
I mean, first they're like, "Oh, we got this case," but then after talking to him a little bit, they're like laughing about it.
So they let you go?
They did like they basically threw it out. I had to pay like a $500 fine, and they threw it out.
Nice. Good DA. See, it's good to know that the justice service and system still
No, they
operates.
thought it was hilarious when I started talking to him about it, but they're just like, well, he pressed charges, so we got to like kind of do something.
What did the UFC step in at all?
Nah, they kicked me out of the gym for a few months, but I got back in
Stop it. The UFC kicks you out of the gym. Jake Shields.
for a few months, yeah.
What's going on here?
I mean,
I'm so
I did
confused.
chase the guy around the gym and slap him around.
Listen, I want to know after becoming.
I want to get the whole video. I know the UFC has it because he's
Yeah.
literally hiding behind the bags. It's like
I need
it's
security
hilarious.
footage of this.
Yeah, we need to get that
Former
video.
Strikeforce middleweight champion, and then you go to the UFC. Why'd you make the move?
Just because it was a lot bigger name. I actually took a pay cut to go to the UFC, which sucks. Because Strikeforce was massive at the time. I was fighting. I was having big fights there. I'd beaten Robbie Lawler, Mayhem there, Dan Henderson. So I was getting paid really well in massive fights. But it was like I just felt like I really wanted to fight GSP, and he was in the UFC. Plus, UFC has done by far the best job of name branding.
Yeah.
Like even you were in Pride, it was as big as the UFC, but the US fans don't view it the same, which sucks when you're in a show that has the same level of fighters. But so I really wanted to fight GSP, so I signed over to that, and ended up won my first UFC fight versus Martin Kampman, and then fought GSP in a massive fight in Toronto, like 60,000 fans. It was nuts. You know?
I mean, you went into that fight, 15 fight win streak, 6
Yeah.
years you hadn't lost. You were
Yeah.
basically like invincible for the time being, and you were considered like America's warrior. It was like the new birth of like a Randy Couture-esque fighter. How do you feel that GSP fight went for you?
I mean, I lost, so I can't say it went great, but I don't think I fought terrible either. I think GSP is just absolutely an amazing fighter. It's one of those things. It was a close fight. I think he won the first 2 rounds. I won the last 2. So you look at that and you're like, damn, if I could have took a round before, you know, completely changed your life winning that fight. But overall, you know, I don't think I fought bad. He's just really good and really hard to fight.
Was he as good as you thought he was? Or better?
Yeah. No, he's probably about the same. I think
Yeah.
the only thing different is I maybe could have just been a little more aggressive, a little crazier earlier on, because that's when I started really putting the pressure on him when he had trouble. He just moves so good. He's hard to hit, and he's jabs so heavy. He explodes that takedown so quick. So he is not an easy guy to fight.
His wrestling is really good for somebody that
So
never
good.
wrestled in high school.
He has that blast double. It's just bam, hit me with a couple times. And his head hits in the middle, so you can't get a guillotine off it.
How's his grappling though?
It's actually really good. Really good jiu-jitsu. I trained with him a good amount after because he was I went to New York a couple years to train with John Donaher, and that's where Gordon Ryan, all those guys trained, and GSP would come down. He's actually the only guy I fought that became good friends with after. Super cool guy.
He's a super cool guy.
Yeah, I always respected him when I fought him, but then it was nice to like actually become friends with him.
Yeah.
We need to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, man.
He never responds to me. GSP don't respond to me.
I don't think he want to come on the podcast because I asked him.
Have Rampage out.
no,
I did. I
Video,
asked him.
yeah, 'cause
Rampage, you asked him?
Yeah, I
What did he
asked
tell
him.
you?
He said, oh, if I'm ever in California, I'll come. And then
yeah, he's not really to get interviews. You might could get him if you guys get in Vegas and book a studio.
You should tell him that we'll fly him out here. We need him on the podcast. He's a legend, and it's only right. We have to have Rampage interview.
Yeah, tell him my feelings hurt.
Yeah, I think with you, he's way more likely to do it because you know these guys. If it's a big UFC
Yeah.
guy, they're like, they don't want to say no to Rampage, but.
Yeah, but he said he'd come on if he's ever in California. But I think he was here when they had the UFC in Anaheim.
Hey, he didn't want to come.
He didn't
But
come.
you just got to be on him too, you know.
You got to be on him,
I
Rampage.
understand. I don't like to beg nobody.
Yeah.
I get it.
I appreciate all you guys that come down and make time for us. You got to understand, a lot of people doing podcasts and stuff now. So I get asked to do a lot of podcasts, so
All
I
the
know how.
time.
Yeah, so I know how.
I turned down like 99%.
Yeah.
I get
That's
it.
why I appreciate him. He literally turns on every podcast. I've been blowing him up all year. He's like, yeah, I'll make it out for Rampage. Like, he had so much love and respect for
You've
you.
been
so it's
blowing
cool.
on him all year.
Oh, my
Well, I
God.
mean, a guy like you, you're like an OG legend in the sport. You're the guys, you know, guys appreciate you. It's like we treat people good. We all have good reputations. We've done a lot. So guys like us can get people to come do shit for them. But these others, you know, if it's some fucking douchebag, no one's going to listen.
Yeah.
But someone like you, you've done so much for the sport. So of course I'm going to come do it.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
And that's
I
why I
bump into
think-
him all the time. We always, ever since we met, we've always gotten along.
Yeah.
He's always been
They're all
cool.
good people. I think
Yeah.
the
You
Scrap
treat
Pack
everyone good, I
sometimes
think,
gets
and all
a
that.
little bad representation because of how real they are. Like if you're in a club and you say some dumb stuff to them, they're gonna smack you.
Yeah.
And there's 10 of them, and they all know how to fight.
Yeah.
And they're all bad boys. Like one thing, you were on Bully Beatdown
Yeah.
a few times. You were beating up bullies left and right. Did Mayhem Miller hit you up to do that?
No, it was the producers hit me up. So everyone's like, "Oh, didn't your boy Mayhem get that up?" I'm like, "No, he had nothing to do with producing the fighters."
But you guys you saw each other on
Yeah.
set and stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And y'all just didn't talk.
we just didn't talk. Yeah, we just stayed. It is what it is. You know, you just stay away. It's business.
Yeah.
You didn't like each other still when you were filming the show with
I
each
think
other?
when we first started, we were okay, but then we had the feud maybe afterwards.
They
we,
really
we,
let-
we had a feud going on for a while, for like multiple years.
Wow. They really let you guys fight each other though? Like fight the bullies?
They told us not to like hurt them, but it was fairly real. They gave a lot of padding and that type of stuff. And most of the bullies, they weren't great, but they had a little bit of training. It was guys that like trained like 6 months and thought they were tougher than they were.
That was a good show, bro. They need to bring that back.
It was popular. I still have people mention it. Like a lot of people watch that. And I just did a few episodes and so when people mention that, like, "Oh, I saw you on that." That really blew Mayhem up, which is kind of sad that Mayhem kind of fell off after that.
You know what, Mayhem? I love him.
Yeah.
I can say this. He know I don't talk shit about him, but the fame went to his head, and that changed him. I remember when he first started getting famous in Hawaii. He got famous there, so he moved there, and it just went to his head. And I feel bad. He had this great girlfriend at the time. I'm not gonna put her name out there, and I loved her. And I thought she was good for him, but he had everything set up for him, and the fame just went to his head, and he lost her, and he did all this stuff. And I'm like, man.
Yeah, like I said, we had a feud, but I got no hard feelings towards them. And yeah, if fighting got big in Hawaii before here, I'll go to Hawaii and I was a superstar.
Yeah.
And it's like Mayhem, like I said, I don't like the dude, but he did well with girls. I ain't gonna lie that. He's always had hot girls around him.
Always, yeah.
That's probably why we were always feuding.
Yeah. See, I didn't get mad. I found out he smashed a couple of my chicks. I didn't get mad. I didn't care.
Girls dislike us. What can we say?
Yeah. You get upset with the girl. You don't get upset with the guy.
Exactly.
That's
You
very
nailed it
true.
right there. I'll be like, you whore.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to cuss and stuff in the show? Or
Hell
what?
yeah.
Say whatever you want, but
I can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get mad at you.
Yeah. It's the girl's fault. She opened up her legs. You can't get mad at a guy just being a guy.
Yeah, I know. I never understood when dudes want to go beat some dude up with their girl. It's like, your girl did it. Be mad at her, not the dude.
That's right. So if I smash one of your girlfriends, y'all remember. Get mad at the girl.
you heard it here from Jake Shields and Rampage Jackson. How to settle that problem.
The problem is someone comes after that, they're not coming with guns. They're not coming after otherwise.
Yeah. But that's fucked up though. The guy get mad at the guy. Like, come on.
Like, what are we supposed to do if some
Yeah.
girl's coming over?
God. You never been mad at a guy?
Not for smashing my girl, no.
I'm the same. Never been mad at the dude. Always blame the girl.
No. I'm gonna tell you a story. I don't know if you guys know this guy, Corey Hill. He passed away a couple years ago. He fought in the UFC.
Yeah.
He was a tall guy.
Yeah, tall guy, right? Yeah.
We was teammates in college at wrestling, and I was dating the one straight girl on the basketball team, and me and her, we was getting along and everything. I never smashed anything, but then he was acting like he was dating her roommate, and her roommate was a lesbian, and so him and my girl hooked up. And me and him, we stayed friends. We was like really close friends. Yeah. And I just stopped talking to her. And I was walking down the hall one day, and she saw me go into his room because they was right across. And I just act like she didn't exist, right? She said, "Why you still friends with him and you not friends with me?" I'm like, "Oh, because he ain't did nothing wrong. He told me.
Yeah.
You try to lie, make me look stupid." And they don't understand that. You don't get mad at the guy, especially if he comes man to man and tell you, like, "Look here, man, I'm fucking your bitch."
No, I agree. And guys always get weird, like they can call a girl. It's like, you can't call a girl. It's whoever gets her, gets her.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just the truth is how it is. You can't be all, some guys get all weird over girls. It's have better game.
Yeah. Have you ever competed for a girl with Nate or Nick or
No,
Gilbert?
I don't compete with girls for my friends.
No?
No, I don't.
I don't see y'all liking the same girls. You have
We have different tastes specifically. I think Rampage knows. Rampage knows.
Yeah, we like most of the
You
same
guys
thing.
fought in Pride and Pancras, so I feel like you guys had a unique style.
We ain't saying anything.
Yeah.
So talk to me. Most teams have a lot of issues with, teams and athletes and teammates competing in the same weight division. Tensions arise and fights happen. And then, we see fallouts like Rashad and John Jones, for example. But it seems like the Skrap Pack and your crew, you guys never really had a lot of issues. How'd you guys manage to avoid that?
We were always just very clear we weren't going to fight each other. Like me and Nick, no way we'd fight each other. And at the time, Gil and Nate were fighting 55s, and there was no way to fight each other under any circumstances. So it was just very clear. That's actually another reason when I was in Strikeforce. Nick was he was fighting at 70s, so I moved up to 85s, which actually there was better talent than anyway. So it's like, I'm not going to compete. I'll just move. One of us will move weights. And you know, it was always, we didn't know who, but if we were in a situation, one of us fight, one of us would just move weights.
And who would help you guys mediate this? It seems like all of you guys are at the same level of testosterone and talent. So it seems like you guys for 20 years have been able to figure it out as a crew.
It was just very clear that we held loyalty to each other. We never fight, so we didn't really have to. It was very clear. Yeah, we've never had any issues.
It's incredible.
Never fighting amongst the group. And like I said, I've been in a few fist fights with Gil, but they're instantly gone. Never like an actual, like we might yell at each other for 5 minutes, but then it's just gone.
It's like real brothers.
Never actual. Yeah, I think it's because we're too close. But I've never been mad at Gil for like a day. Even I don't think maybe mad for like an hour or something. But it's like we're just so close. And same with Nick and Nate. It is kind of amazing how little drama we've had.
Did y'all all manage each other as well and coach each other?
We didn't officially, but we helped. Yeah, I basically coached Gil mostly and helped not necessarily manage him, but I've always passed him deals. If I can get a deal and I can pass it to friends, I'm gonna try to do that too.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Have you ever seen a team this
making
close?
homes?
No, I don't even think Shootbox was this close.
No way. Those guys all were backstabbing each other towards the end.
Yeah,
of
they all
their
breaking
career.
up
They
now.
all broke
I
up.
didn't even-
None of us went after each other's girls. None of that.
That's an incredible story, like in MMA. That needs to be a documentary about. Because one thing too that I feel you guys touched upon, but it doesn't get enough credit. None of them were superstars. They all came up the ranks with each other. They all iron sharpens iron. Like they all made
absolutely
each other.
nothing. We were all like poor, basically street kids, and then
none of them.
Gil was probably the
experience.
richest one, and he was a poor kid in Mexico. not Mexico, poor kid in Santa Ana, and that was like the rich one out of the group.
It's so crazy to me. Like I feel like it's one. I always thought it was one of the dopest stories. As I've known Nate and all of you guys, and Nick. Nick was hitting me up a few days ago. I know he has a big fight coming up. I want to jump into that too. Nick's fighting Vicente Luque. You think that's a good fight for him?
I think it's a tough fight coming back because he's not a massive name. I would prefer they gave him like a Tony Ferguson. It would make more sense for the fans, especially it's in Abu Dhabi. But I believe he already signed the fight. So once you signed it, you got to go in and take it.
When is this?
I think he can beat it. It's pretty soon. It's like in 4 weeks.
How's he looking in
You
training?
know, I haven't trained with him yet, but I actually might. They're trying to get me to fly out there next week. He's in Houston. I'm like, oh, I don't really want to go to Houston.
Why is he training out there?
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to go to Houston, but they're hitting me up trying to get me to go out there next week. So
Make sure you get his cardio. That's
Yeah.
going to be the most important thing.
no, I agree. Cardio, and he didn't train at all for the Lawler fight. That fight,
Nothing?
No, that fight shouldn't have happened in my opinion. I'm not going to get into too many details, but I wasn't really too happy. I think he was kind of pressured into that so people can make money.
Like management and people around him.
Yeah, just people want to make money off him, and he was kind of pressured into that fight.
Yeah, I mean, we all know Nate has been looking up to his older brother for years, and then Nate went and made a name that's beyond belief what people saw. And his talents, he's a cultural icon in and out of MMA. But Nick is the god of war. I mean, he is one of the baddest dudes to ever do it, and he brought that whole era of like going down on your shield. Do you feel like he still has it in him to go out there and kind of put on a big show, a big win?
I mean, the fact that he fought Robbie Lawler with zero training in 5 years, and like I was freaked out watching that. I thought I was gonna get embarrassed, and he put on a freaking war. Do you guys fight? I'm like, he lost, but like he went just 2 rounds. For a second, look, he might even come back and win. I'm like, holy shit, with no training. So I think, I think he still can go out there. It shows that he has the heart still, and now he's training. Like I said, I can't say how hard. I know he is actually training now, so that's why hopefully I'll get out there next week and push him. I would like a little more time. He's got like 4 weeks. That's so quick.
He's been training though, right?
He's been training, but I don't think quite at the pace he should be. He needs. I think they finally just flew a trainer out there for him. Now they're trying to get me to come out. So
After such a long break, it's hard to get back into it because I got to do it because I'm supposed to be hopefully fighting in November, and I was just trying to train for Shannon. It's hard to get back in it, after such a long break.
yeah, it takes you that you get your body retrained and your mind because you get so used to going to the gym all the time. You got to reset it. Yeah. Are you fighting in the Middle East? One of those cards, or no? Did that get moved?
No, I was supposed to. We haven't signed the deal.
I don't know why I heard something Middle East.
No, I was supposed to be fighting in Qatar.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Those guys end up scamming, bro.
You gotta be careful with these new shows.
Fuck, I had Shannon brought it to me, so I'm trusting him to these guys. Everything seemed legit, and then Shannon was like, "No, these guys are scammers." He said they're not even from Qatar. He said they're from Pakistan.
Oh Jesus!
And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, like these new shows, you got to get some kind of money up front or something.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to do. But now Rashad stepped in, and he was like, we had him on the show, and we were talking about let's do it again because I always want a rematch, but he wanted a box, and I want a box. So November we supposed to be doing something. He said it might be in Japan.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah, it's cool. I kind of like it. There's some of us old, OG legends fighting each other because we're not trying to come in and win world titles right now, but we still have names. People still want to watch us fight. So it's like, why not let? Yeah, it's still fun. Yeah. UFC does a terrible job of like when the guy starts getting a little past his prime, instead of giving easier fights, they'll give him the toughest young up and comer to try to build names off them. They just try to eat people up.
That's not fair.
That's
not fair.
Don't like that?
No, that's not right, bro.
I think they would do a lot better if they kept their stars along, give them a little bit easier fights, a little older guys, but instead they just want to like chop them up and get rid of them
because they want to build the new talent as fast as they can.
But it's got to be more. It got to be more than that too. It's got to be more than that. It's kind of like I'm not going to talk bad. With all due respect, I feel like back in the day when when fighters retired, we went back to our hometown, opened up gyms, and then that's how we had our own money. We owned the gym and stuff like that. Now I feel like we can't do that because of the UFC gyms. You got to compete with them. So I just feel like sometimes they just don't want us to like succeed outside of them.
Yeah, so, it's weird. Like they don't really want to push. Some guys, you have such a massive name, but instead of using you, like, give you a slightly easier fight, they would give you the toughest possible guy. And guys like Chuck Liddell, they don't take their like OG legends. They take them and just chew them up and spit them away. And like I think Chuck forever was their guy. They paid him to go meet the VIPs. They fired him from that for some reason after they sold it.
Yeah. I think that with people that bought it, they probably didn't want that expense.
Yeah, but I think they had the agreement already. It's kind of like can't you keep that agreement through with the I'm sure they could have. Lorenzo gave them the agreement and then they just like dropped it. Well, I didn't make that agreement. It's still just kind of shitty thing to do.
Yeah, I think that was a good deal for Chuck. Being like an ambassador and still making he was still making like
he was making some good money. I don't know exact numbers, but he was making good money.
I heard rumors it's like 250, 300K a year.
I mean,
with nothing to the UFC though.
But it's Chuck Liddell. The dude helped you build the entire organization they sold for $3-4 billion. I can't say anything, and with all due respect, I feel like Chuck Liddell deserves every dollar that guy got when he's not fighting. That guy was one of the baddest to ever do it, and he put on a show, and he made MMA like an actual mainstream viewable sport.
Yeah.
But the other thing too is that Dana White's built an amazing organization. So I don't know. I don't know the business side. But
Yeah, I agree.
Chuck deserves all the respect he gets.
But Chuck's the first guy to turn into mainstream fame, and I think Dana's the one that gave him the word that he was going to keep him. So it's a little
Yeah. So Dana got enough money. He could have just kept.
I'm sure.
paid him out of his own team.
I'm sure he takes care of him somehow, though.
I
would assume. I still see Chuck doing a lot of events, and Chuck was just.
Chuck's doing fine. Chuck's doing fine.
yeah,
Chuck's
yeah.
a smart guy. He's still really famous. I'm surprised him
Bro,
still.
he is.
Like, it's crazy.
Bro.
He gets swarmed like old times.
It's crazy.
He's crazy.
I think because the look's so recognizable, and he was the first fighter to cross to mainstream celebrity.
Bro, I beat Chuck twice. So I have no listen. I have no ego.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas with him for the Super Bowl, and you like to think that like, oh, I beat this guy, so
I'll be bigger. But it's not how it works.
It's not how it works. I was with him in Super Bowl in Vegas and stuff like that. And we couldn't get in certain places, and Chuck like, hold my beer.
You're like, motherfucker, but he's cool though.
He came back so happy from Super Bowl. He's like, bro, Chuck Liddell's a monster. I go, you're just
Crazy,
learning
man.
that now?
Bro, people wouldn't even see me. I'd be with Chuck.
No, they're just coming.
It's the first time ever happened because if there's MMA fans around,
Yeah.
I'm getting a bunch
I know,
of
but
pictures.
with Chuck, there's come to Chuck. You're
they
like,
come to
well,
Chuck,
but
they
put my ego away here. I was paying attention to Chuck tonight.
Yeah, hey, Chuck was one of the first people to take me out and party with Luke. That's how I met Luke, remember?
That was a rough night, I bet.
Oh, it was. I saw things that night I never should see at 20 years old.
Well,
That was-
Which one? You part
What'd
of
you
Chuck?
see? Tell us what you see.
It was
If it's really bad, we edited it out.
it was like a combination between The Hangover, Alice in Wonderland, and a little bit of the movie Taken.
See, I'm glad I partied with Chuck at like 20. So I'm like, oh, this is how women really are.
Yeah. What I saw, I was like, wow. And then, but the best part about the whole night was Luke Rockhold. He spinning kicked the door to close it on the guy dropping off the food. It was like 4 a.m. at the Roosevelt in Hollywood. And the guy said something to him. And it's like this small little like guy just dropping off the room service. It was like 4 a.m. And Luke chased him full speed down the hallway. And I'm like, Luke, you can't do that to normal people.
No.
He said, I don't kick strong. I go, Luke, bro, it's too late for this.
Hey, I heard a rumor that that night Luke blow up a stripper's asshole. Is that true?
I can't confirm nor deny anything, but he is in Turkey right now with Craig Jones. Listen,
Oh, no, that's not good.
Yeah, that's not good.
Craig Jones crazy too.
Oh, bro, the videos they be sending me and Rampage in a group chat, bro, it's horrible. So listen, as we get close to wrapping this thing up, I want to know, why did you leave the UFC early for PFL? You fought in the PFL for like 4 years, right?
You know, I like kind of falling out with Dana White. So
How bad was it?
I mean, Dana's can just be Dana. So, I mean, I'm cool with him now if I see him, but he can be kind of, I don't know, he can hate you or he can like you.
What was it, over contracts or money or fights?
Yeah, I forget exactly what it was, a few different things, but so we're cool now. So I try to keep it as cool as possible. Like, I don't work for the UFC, but you still don't want to have totally burned bridges with the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Would he give you tickets if you asked for UFC tickets?
It depends. I ask someone else. Sometimes I get them. Sometimes I don't. I asked for the last show and didn't get them though. But a lot of times I do. So
What about PFL? How was that?
it was pretty good. It was they paid well and stuff. It just wasn't marketed real good. Is the unfortunate part. So it's hard going to the UFC when you have all these packed arenas and you're in an arena, not very many people. So I kind of lost motivation to train for these fights. Where like they're paying me good, but it's hard to be motivated when there's like hardly one in the arena. When you've been in these giant arenas, GSP 60,000 people out in Japan, these big arenas. Now you have an arena with like 5,000 people. It's kind of like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, that's how it was at like Bellator.
Really? Even though you're getting paid?
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah, because
promote.
Bellator pays well, but they just don't. And
don't-
I
they don't
wish
know how to promote.
Yeah, I wish they did because it's like because Strikeforce somehow managed to have that. They were selling out these giant arenas. They kind of captured that same spirit. I think those are the only other shows that have done it is Pride and Strikeforce. But for whatever reason, Bellator has not been able to do that.
I don't understand why, because they was like backed by Viacom, right?
Yeah, and they have some good fighters.
They had good fighters. So if they are owned by Viacom, they can promote on all those channels. But I learned that they all compete with each other. All those channels is crazy.
Because a lot of guys in Bellator are making more money than UFC guys.
Hell yeah, I was on my purse, but I was making more money with pay-per-views. But after a while, nobody was.
But no one's watching, so it makes you not
Yeah.
want to fight, right?
Yeah,
You're like, why am I doing this if no one's watching, even if you're getting paid?
Yeah.
What do you mean? People weren't watching fights?
Well, yeah, and Bellator, like they didn't get that many views. But when I fought on free TV, I know myself, I did over 1 million views. They told me the numbers. I did over 1 million views, but they wouldn't sell pay-per-views. They don't do pay-per-views.
I mean, we have the data from one of the Ultimate Fighter analysis is that he had the second or the first highest rating Ultimate Fighter season of all time. You
First,
and Rashad. Yeah.
no one broke my record yet.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so even like things like that, you look at Bellator, like these other leagues, Karate Combat, PFL. I feel like it's hard for them to build fighters because they're going in and out of fighters so much of a swing of talent that it's hard to build talent and build a nice little roster, stable.
No, Bellator has some great fighters. Like this one guy, Patchy Mix. He's a 35 pounder. I trained some. He's phenomenal. I think he might be the best 35 pounder in the world, including the UFC guys. He
only has one loss to Juan Archuleta.
He lost one Archuleta?
Yeah, a little while ago.
Yeah.
You know, he was.
That's his only loss.
A lot of time. The guy's a phenom though, and he's like, you know, he's so good. But I watch him spar a lot of these top UFC guys, but hardly anyone knows who he is. He's making good money though. I think he's making more money than almost all the UFC guys, other than probably Sugar Sean. So he's in a tough situation.
When do you think he'll go make the move to UFC?
I'm not really sure. I think he have a couple more fights. He's getting paid really well. I think like out of 35, I'd say the only 35 pounder making more would probably be Sugar Sean.
Yeah.
But, so it's
Sugar
hard.
Sean O'Malley, he's a 35?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sugar Sean O'Malley's a 135.
Same as Cheeto. Jalin Turner's a 55.
Oh my God, he looks big. I didn't know. This whole
These
time I
guys
thought he
cut
was
a lot of
55.
weight.
That's
they
why
cut a lot
TJ
of
was
weight.
here all upset because you asked him how he would do, and TJ's like, Rampage, I fought in their weight class. That's why he was getting upset with you.
That's why he said
That's why he was talking on the drink. Probably now it makes sense.
That's why he said
But
your energy.
TJ knows I don't know a whole lot about weight
Yeah,
class.
but he told you, Rampage, that's the same division as me. And you said, TJ, I don't know what you're saying. And then he said one more time, that's the same weight class as me. And
I didn't know TJ was that
Yeah, that's
small.
why you were upsetting him.
I was upsetting him?
Yeah, you upset him.
Well, TJ can kiss my ass now. He talk shit about my F3 energy.
Listen, as we get ready to wrap this up, the Carlos Condit fight was amazing. The Robbie Lawler fight was amazing. Dan Henderson fight was amazing. What was your favorite fight you've ever fought?
I don't have one. There's so many. I mean, so many big fights. It's crazy. A big one to me was that when I beat Hayato Mock Sakurai, just because I was completely unknown, completely broke. They brought me out in 2 weeks' notice to Japan. I was supposed to lose. Going out there and beating this guy, it was just that's when it was for the first moment, like, man, I can make it. Because everyone's telling me, you can't make it the sport. You're stupid dropping out. And I went there and beat this guy. And I'm like, man, I really can make it. So that one was big. Rumble in the Rock tournament was big because I had a couple fights in one night. I think it was Carlos Condit. And who else did I beat? It was Yushin Okami in the the same night. Two Savages.
It was like a Grand Prix.
Yeah, Dan Henderson was a big one because I was a big underdog on that one. And he's
so
tough. Right? He dropped me twice in the first round too.
Wow, he hits
like
hard,
he full on dropped me twice that first round. I came back and dominated. So that was cool. GSP was cool even though I lost it just because that 60,000 people was nuts. So did you fight any of those giant arenas in Japan or no?
Yeah. I think my first time fighting was like 72,000.
Crazy,
when I fought
right?
Sakuraba, yeah.
They're not quite as loud, but still crazy.
Yeah, it's not.
The
But
Canadian crowds are raw.
Yeah, it's different energy. In Japan, it seemed like a sea of people, just rows and rows. Because I fought at the Saitama Super Arena, and they can make it grow to fit more people. It opens up and make it move.
That's just insane. There's like probably the biggest fights of all time, right? I know UFC don't count them, but I think they beat the numbers.
Pride had. I think Pride they did something with K1 or something, and they fought at like a
100,000 maybe.
Baseball arenas, something like that, and they broke the record, 100-some thousand.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm speaking as a fan, but some of these Pride highlights that I watch of like Rampage and Vanderlei and all those guys, like, dude, it looks like there's 100,000 people there.
It'd be like 80, 70,
Yeah, it
80,
looks insane.
Yeah,
like I don't know the actual numbers, but
There's a lot
it
of
looks
people.
nuts.
Any fight fans that are watching this that haven't watched Pride, go back and watch old Prides. Watch him, watch Vanderlei,
Fedor,
Gomi, Fedor.
Mirko.
It's just like amazing. Pride, some of the best fights.
Yeah, before we actually jump off that, there's a famous video. Vinny, I don't know if you could find it. It's got this crazy music behind it, and it's got Brazilian writing. Gabriel Silva and Khalil Silva, Anderson Silva's kids, there are JAXXON athletes. They're always in here training with Rampage. Rampage's son trains with them as well. It's really cool, really exciting, good energy. But Gabriel Silva showed me the video, and it's a lineup of Pride doing like their top fighters. And it's like Rampage Jackson, Anderson Silva, Mirko Kokop, Fedor Emelianenko, Shogun. Like, it's just the craziest names.
Sakuraba.
Yeah, Sakuraba.
Gomi, so stacked.
But look at the UFC, and I'm not knocking the UFC because we all know the UFC is by far the best organization in the world for fighting. But you can't show me, except for maybe like, I would say maybe Leon Edwards division, but I mean, these guys were all fighting each other. Every single name was a superstar. Like in today's time, you have like 3 or 4 superstars per weight class. Back then, like you were only watching superstars fight. Like it's kind of incredible.
Yeah, if you're a new fight fan, you have to go back and watch Pride. Absolutely have to.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel that way? Like in today's time, you feel like a lot of these divisions are stacked 20, 30 people deep. You maybe know half of them as a fight fan.
Yeah. I don't know a lot of even.
There's a few weights that are stacked, but overall not.
Yeah.
One question real quick. How did it feel walking out with like 70,000 people? Because to me, it was like crazy during that GSP fight. Did you feel different there or was it like?
Yeah. You know what? I felt like I was a big superstar and this was it, right? You feel
It's like unreal, right?
Yeah,
You're just trying to deal with your head like, whoa, what's
Yeah.
going on here?
The energy is unreal. Yeah.
Was there a, go ahead.
No.
No, I was going to say, as we wrap up, was there a fight that you wish you got that you never gotten?
Anderson Silva. I was supposed to fight Anderson Silva at Rumble in the Rock, and he got disqualified because he upkicked Yushin Okami, and Yushin Okami took a bitch way out. I think he was a little hurt, but I think he played it up and didn't answer when he realized he was going to win the fight, and he got the win that way. And Yushin Okami is a really good fighter too, but like I really wanted to fight Anderson Silva. I think stylistically, I have a good matchup for him. I'm not saying it would have been an easy fight by any means, but like I always wanted to fight the best, and that guy's one of the best.
What was your game plan? Would have been against?
Take his ass down for sure. I ain't trying to strike with him. Yeah, I just think if I could, he's got the long legs. If I could get in, I think my grappling's a lot better.
Yeah,
I think it's a good matchup for me. Not saying it would have been an easy fight by any means, but I think stylistically, I'm a bad matchup for him.
Would you? What would get you to come back now?
Just another guy that's an OG, that's a big name and a good payday. Because thankfully I'm making pretty good money, so I'm not desperate for cash. But I do miss it. I'm not gonna say I don't miss it. Like
how many millions? How many millions it would take?
I don't know. It depends.
2.
Yeah, exactly.
Depends 2.
Don't need to be a lot of millions.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
around there, yeah.
More than 1.
I'm doing well, but I'm not like crazy rich, so it doesn't need to be like insane.
It doesn't need to be 3. It could be 2. I think a good fight would be having like those super cards that they're doing right now with boxing, but then mixing that in with grappling. I feel like because you're just such a dominant force when it comes to grappling in America, like, one of the original OGs, that no-gi era. So I feel like that would be a crazy matchup. You versus like some legendary gi jiu-jitsu.
But I would do a fight too. Like
Really?
I know Saudi Arabia's paying out some money. What if you get like me, you, and Nate Diaz on the same card?
Man, that'd be sick.
Super card out there, like
OG
OGs.
fight.
Yeah.
Forrest Griffin.
Oh yeah, I would
He's
love
payback for him.
Bro, I would love
MMA or boxing?
Anything. I would love that. I want to fuck him
Yeah,
up
some
so
of these
bad.
cards are paying some real money out there.
Yeah.
Like imagine like they stack a card like 3 or 4 good fights. Like
Yeah, that'd be good.
It's true. Who would he fight?
Let me see.
who would I fight? That's the problem.
85.
What weight class would you want to fight at?
70s or 85s, 75s. I don't know.
GSP
I can
rematch?
fight the guy Nate's fighting right now, Masvidal.
Oh, Masvidal. Oh, yeah.
But MMA instead of boxing.
Rematch him and Mayhem. They never happened.
Yeah, I could do Mayhem again, Carlos Condon again.
You guys never rematched after that, did you?
No, so I do Mayhem again.
Henderson.
Anderson again.
Henderson,
Yeah,
yeah.
so there's all kinds
Wow,
of.
there's a lot of good fights for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What-
Robbie Lawler. We could find one of these guys. Might be someone I already fought, but I'm just not trying to fight the up and coming
No,
like
that's-
25-year-olds.
no,
It doesn't make sense.
It don't make sense.
No need.
No.
No need. What about, as we get ready to wrap this up and let you go, what about this weekend? We have Masvidal, Nate. How do you think that's going to go down?
And obviously, I got to favor Nate. Of
course.
my boy.
He trained hard.
Yeah, he trained hard for this one. We're good, which I'm glad. It's. I don't like to predict these fights. Anything can happen. I'm not gonna say how he's gonna win. I was gonna say he's gonna win. There's so many freaking variables.
Yeah.
I hate when people are like, how are you gonna win this fight? It's like I don't fucking know. I'm gonna go out there and try to win. Hopefully, I don't get my fucking head knocked off.
Is he healthy this time? I remember when he fought Jake Paul. He had that muscle.
He wasn't doing it healthy. He's healthy this time. He looks way better for this camp.
All right, I'm gonna be there. He gave me some tickets. I'm gonna
Oh,
be
nice.
there.
Yeah, I'll be there. Obviously, so.
Sick. Listen, I appreciate you coming down to have you on the podcast. It's amazing. We started this in August of last year. We're almost at our 1-year anniversary. So we definitely wanted to complete this year with a few more legends. So adding you to the list is incredible. I also appreciate the Gilbert Melendez Skrap Pack edition we had.
That was
at the
great. He
beginning.
stopped
That was
in for a
cool.
few minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there any, I heard, before we let you go, this last thing, is there any story about you and Nate Diaz in Stockton? You guys walked into a bar, some guys was yelling at you guys, and you guys just wiped out the whole bar?
Not in Stockton. Everyone knows not to fuck with them. We don't get in fights that often. There was a few like when we were before we got known. We were in Hawaii. We got in a couple brawls early on because they loved us in Hawaii later because we got famous and they treated us good. But early on, it was kind of racist out there. If you're like if you're white and they look kind of white, they're like light Mexicans. So people would talk shit. I think it was me and Nick actually. We got in a big brawl in an elevator with a couple of Samoans.
Oh,
we
that's
got
what
in a
it
couple
was.
fights out there.
You and Nick, yeah.
But we got in a couple brawls out in Hawaii.
Was that in Oahu?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what? You guys wiped out like a bunch of dudes, and then you guys just walked down the street, something like that. It was like a nonchalant night.
That's how we do it.
Like Roadhouse.
Yeah, it's like
BJ,
like
I
a
see
real
BJ Penn getting in fights out there too. He used to be crazy.
You watched BJ Penn getting
I
street
seen him
fights?
getting big brawl out there one time, scrapping.
For real?
How'd he do?
Of course, he was winning.
I like that.
Bro, my first time going to Hawaii, I landing from the airport, driving to the hotel, I see two big Samoans. I think they were Samoans. Fighting right there in the gas station and roll out in the street.
It's no big deal in Hawaii.
No big deal. It's my first time. Like, man, I love this place. I was telling the bus, hey, slow down, let's watch this fight. It was a good ass fucking brawl. They love to fight out there.
That's it. It's in their
Especially
blood, dude.
certain areas in Hawaii are pretty sketch. I can go there now because I get recognized a lot, and the ears, they'll treat me great. But like, there's certain areas, if you're white and you're not, you probably shouldn't go there.
Are you serious?
Still.
I'm not sure how they are with black people, but with white people, they can be like, get out of here, Howley.
For that problem is, get out here, Popolo. That's what they call black
Yeah,
people.
exactly.
Really?
They'll probably say the same to you. But you, they'd be fine. But like,
Yeah,
me and you could walk there, but regular black guy, white guy, they're like, get the fuck out of here.
For real?
Yeah, I'd get
For real.
jumped. You
It's
guys would
gotten
fight.
it's gotten less bad, but there's still areas where they do that.
Man, I heard this territory over the beaches where you're surfing and stuff too.
They'll fight you
Oh,
over
yeah.
that for
Oh,
sure.
for sure, dude.
Yeah, I've
They'll
heard
definitely
stories.
fight you for that.
I heard stories.
Listen, I appreciate it. Good luck this weekend in Nate Diaz versus Masvidal. That's a big fight. I know that if you have something coming up, I would love for you to let us know so we could drop that in our JAXXON Podcast Discord and in our description. And then I know you have a podcast coming out.
Yeah, just starting it, so it's like brand new. I think I did one episode, so
Cool.
it's mostly put it in my Twitter. But I just started a YouTube, Jake Shields AJJ.
Okay, cool.
So
we'll make sure to get that. So guys, make sure if you're in the JAXXON Podcast Discord or in the comments, show them some love.
And what's your Twitter?
Jake Shields AJJ.
Okay.
And then Rampage will be dropping a new channel or his current channel. You guys be on the lookout for that. It's going to have a lot of behind the scenes.
We still doing that?
When have I not done something that you've asked me to do?
I asked you for $100 million and you haven't given
And
me
I
it.
said, give me your account number so I could wire. And you said, no wire. I said, then I can't help you.
Yeah, I don't
So,
want the tax man to know about it. This
You
guy's
see
a
what's
fucking
going on?
billionaire.
Right, they're trying to take your taxes.
Not a billionaire. I'm just trying to put on a good show. And then we just dropped our brand new 8mm and 10mm Cuban link chains in gold and silver. Make sure you guys go check those out at JAXXON.com. We appreciate you guys watching. JAXXON Podcast, we out.